Welcome to Ka Homeopathy Study Group Pro Bono webinar. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So nice to see many of you from different countries and different time zones. Before we start our webinar, always thank the universe for giving us this great opportunity. And Dr. Sweta Singh, our Ka Chief Administrator, will start the session.
So thank you so much, ma'am. And hello, everyone. Myself, Dr. Shweta Singh, Ka Chief Administrator, welcomes our respected speakers, Chairman and CEO, Kavita ma'am, Ka volunteers, and all the attendees to Ka webinar. I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Ka Homeopathic Group to all of you. Ka Homeopathy Study Group Pro Bono was organized and founded by homeopath and humanitarian Kavita Kuknur, President and CEO of Kavita Holistic Approach. This group is intended to be an offering from Kavita to the homeopaths around the globe, sharing goodwill and solid clinical work within the classical model. Our foundational principles for the Ka mission and vision are very unique to inspire young homeopaths, mentor, provide excellency for educational purposes using holistic approaches via webinars, which are based on principles of classical homeopathy and provide professional continuing educational homeopathy credits for practitioners. We provide merit certificates for spreading the light of homeopathy around the globe. Dr. Kavita is a member of Kevin Friendly Foundation, a non-profit organization that helps to serve poor people in greater needs in India. She is also the associate editor of the Homeopathic Heritage and member of CHC PR Committee and ECHINA CPD provider. She is the recipient of Martha Allman Community Service Award by National Center for Homeopathy and Best Entrepreneur Award from Dr. N. Lingaraju, Principal of JSPS Homeopathic Medical College, Hyderabad, India. Also, Dr. Kavita received the prestigious Legendary Homeopath Award with joint hands of Honorable Health Minister Dr. Dhan Singh Rawat, Senior MLA Mr. Harbhajan Singh Chima, ex-Director Homeopathy, Government of Uttarakhand and Chairman of HomeoCure and Research Institute during the National Homeopathic Seminar, Homeopathy, the Future Medicine at Kashipur on August 21, 2022. Dr. Deepak Sharma, Ka Executive, Dr. Rajneesh Kumar Sharma, Ka Advisor, and myself, Ka Chief Administrator. The Ka team were also recognized and presented with Legendary Homeopath Award at the ceremony. We're extremely happy and proud that we celebrated 11 years of her book, Beyond the Limits, A Challenge to Prove Oneself. And at the Ka second annual celebration, our honorable guest of speaker, Dr. Jawahar Shah, Chairman of Enlightenment Education, launched audiobook and hard copy of her second writer, A Dose of Spirituality with Kavita. Dr. Kavita donated the proceedings of the book through Kaho Study Group platform to various charitable organizations and homeopathic association. To name a few are Kevin Friendly Foundation, CHC, DHMA, GSPS College, BT Seva, NCH, etc. We will share the recording link in Zoom chat box and interested one can have the glimpse of the book. Purchase link will also be shared. As of now, we have over 250 plus recordings on professional webinars related to homeopathy, health related topic and inspirational talks available on our YouTube channel, Kavita Kuknur. This webinar is moderated by Ka family. It is being recorded as we speak and we will take questions at the end of the webinar. We will post jot form in Zoom webinar chat at the end of the webinar. Please fill the form to receive your certificate. Kindly mute yourself and turn your video off for better connection. Let me introduce our honorable speakers to all of you. We have with us our first speaker, Dr. Nupur Sharma, who's BHMS. She is a member of Australian Naturopath Therapy Association, member of Australian Register of Homeopath, founder and director of Healing Care Clinic, working as senior homeopathic consultant in Brisbane Live Well Clinic, visiting homeopath in AVO Retirement and Rehabilitation Center. She's a member of Delhi Homeopathic Medical Association, DHMA, and she is our Ka Homeopathy Study Group volunteer. She will be speaking upon mental diseases and its homeopathic approach. Welcome, Dr. Nupur.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Thank
And
you for letting me join in.
our second honorable speaker is Dr. Krutik Shah. He will enlighten us on emotional causes of physical diseases. Dr. Krutik is the chief consultant homeopath and medical director at Gujarat State First Private Shri Sai Homeopathic Hospital. He has studied homeopathy intensively for over 15 years since 1998. Dr. Krutik is an internationally acclaimed physician, researcher, and teacher. He not only present the new phase of modern homeopathy, but also responsible for new phase in homeopathy, that is developing first private homeopathic hospital in the state of Gujarat. His hospital in Anand is visited by patients from all over the world. Dr. Krutik Shah is a postgraduate in homeopathy in Organon of Medicine as a principal subject. He is the postgraduate from International Academy of Classical Homeopathy under the directorship of an alternative Nobel laureate, Professor George Vitholkas, Greece, and former coordinator of e-learning program, India, from International Academy of Classical Homeopathy, Greece. He's the main educator in the different courses conducted at Samuel Hahnemann Academy for Homeopathy, Shah, which is an academic division of Sri Shai Homeopathic Hospital. Dr. Krutik Shah is involved in research projects on pathological prescribing, cancer, and HIV positive AIDS patient with the legend homeopaths of the country and the world. He is the author of many articles published in national and international magazines. He is the recipient of many national and international awards. Bharat Gaurav India Pride Award, the Historic International Homeopathic Healthcare Leadership Award 2019. Dr. Krutik Shah is appointed as an honorary homeopathic consultant to the Nobel Governor of Gujarat, Shri Devrat Acharya ji, and his family at Rajbhavan Gandhinagar. So there's so much to say about Dr. Krutik Shah. Welcome, sir, once again to
Thank you.
Ka platform.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So in homeopathic prescription, mental symptoms along with the physicals play a vital role. And so the deep understanding of the emotional spiritual state of the patient is very important to us, being homeopaths. That is what Dr. Hahnemann stated in his Organon of Medicine. So today we will enrich ourselves more upon mental diseases and explore more about the mental health and its importance from our honorable guest speakers. So let's start with the sessions, and Dr. Nupur, you will go first.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
You want me to share
You
the
can
screen
start,
now?
ma'am.
Okay. Is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's start. Today we'll be discussing the mental health and homeopathy. And before discussion, I want to say thanks to Dr. Kavita Kukunur ma'am and all the honorable members of CA to give me this platform to discuss the topics and gain more knowledge from Dr. Krutik as well. And thank you so much, and let's start now. So, mental health and homeopathy. So, first of all, we'll discuss what is health. Word health comes from the root word whole, which means feeling healthy, means complete sense of wholeness in ourselves. What is complete wholeness? Complete wholeness means your physical energy or your body is vibrant, your mind is joyful, and your emotions are exuberant. Means sense of wholeness. So, sense of wholeness means like the whole way you are healthy. This is the meaning of health, right? So, what is mental health? Most of us get confused about mental health. If we start talking about mental health, people say like mental health means mental illness, which is not right. Mental health is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential or can cope up with normal stress of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to her or his own community. Right? So this is a mental health, means it's a state of well-being. Mental health is about wellness rather than illness. Right? So let's discuss about we all know what is mental health now. Now we'll discuss what is mental illness. Mental illness is also called mental health disorder, refers to a whole or wide range of mental health conditions such as that affects your mood, your thinking, and your behavior. For example, anxiety, depression, and schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and lots of. Right. So first we learn what is health, then second what is mental health, and then what is mental illness. Now we'll discuss what are the signs, what are the symptoms when you see in someone or in yourself to think that you are suffering from a mental illness. Most of the people in nowadays, they are suffering from a mental health issues or mental illness, but they don't know they are suffering from mental illness. So what are the warning signs to know that you are suffering from a mental illness? Right? So these are the 10 warning signs. If you see in yourself or anyone else, you should ask them for a help, or you can go for yourself, you can go uh, for a treatment, right? So first of all, drastic or dramatic change in sleep and appetite means sleeping too much or sleeping too less. It is a symptom or a warning symptom of a mental or a emotional illness. Means sometimes people are says like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I used to sleep only 6 to 8 hours a day, but nowadays, like if I'm at work, I'm sleepy, and if I am at home, I feel sleepy. I take even 8 to 10 hours a day sleep, but still my sleep is not enough. I'm sleepy too much, right? And another way the people say like, I don't know, I can't sleep, it's been so long, I can't sleep. So this is a dramatic change. If that symptom persists more than 2 weeks, this is a concern. You should see a physician, right? Or if there is a change in appetite, if you are eating too much or if you are eating too less, this is also a warning sign of a mental illness. Right. The second is isolation and apathy. Withdrawal, isolation, or apathy means you are uninterested in anything, right? If you are like, you, for example, if you are a very social person, and then all of a sudden you just don't want to go to anybody, you don't want to talk to anybody, and you just want to stay alone. If you lock yourself in a room and says like, I don't want to go to outside to meet anyone and I don't feel like to go out, this is also a warning sign. And again, if these symptoms stays more than 2 weeks, it is a warning sign, right? Presence of unstable mood or a mood swings is also a warning sign as well. Presence of unstable mood and mood swings is unrelated to happening outside. Means if something happened to your life in your personal life, that is a pretty common thing, like you are having some mood swings because of that, but nothing happened in your life, your daily routine is going as smooth as well before, but still if you have unstable mood swings, this is also a warning sign. Excessive, overwhelming anxiety, worry, panic attacks, this is also a warning sign.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Can you please turn your presentation to presentable mode?
Sorry, what's that?
Turn
What do
your
you,
turn to it to the presentable mode.
how can I do that? Sorry, I don't know that.
At the bottom there is an icon, right? 73%. With that there is an icon. Can you please click that
In the Zoom
at the
one,
bottom here?
in
At the bottom, yes. There is written, you can see cup shaped icon is there on the right side. At the bottom you can see.
It's a full screen. That is, if you see at
Yeah.
the root, this is at the 73. Look
No,
at the
no.
bottom right. There are three,
Right.
yep,
bottom right. Yeah, there are
73. Yep.
three.
You want me to take
Left.
100%?
No, no.
No. The other one, left 200.
Yep.
Yes.
This one,
Yes.
yes.
Please do that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is it okay now?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we? Like it's like excessive, overwhelming anxiety, worry, and a panic attack. Right. So anxiety is this common if you are like, for example, if you are going out for a exam, if exams are coming, and for example, for us, if I'm giving a presentation or I'm doing webinar as a speaker. So there is some sort of anxiety in your mind first you start. So this is pretty much normal. But if this is excessive or overwhelming anxiety, worry, panic attacks, so this is not right. Right. So the another thing is feeling down or up almost all time of the day. Right. So it's like most of the time we say like I'm feeling so down, or I don't want to talk, I feel like so low. This is also a warning sign. On the same time, if you are almost up all time, like too much energy, too much doing the things, and in that way you are not thinking, your emotional way of thinking is not right, so this is also a warning sign. Substance use in like if 50% of the people who are suffering from a mental illness, they are suffering from a substance abuse. For substance abuse means like drug abuse or alcohol abuse. So this is if a person is taking too much use of alcohol, this is also a warning sign that you are suffering from some mental illness. Inability to cope with life, like you are doing things, for example, like getting up, doing brush, and getting ready for the work. This is the normal daily routine work. But if you are unable to do with that work as well for 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time, it's not normal. Psychotic symptoms Psychotic symptoms, like most of the time which I read, 3% of population is suffering from a psychotic symptom, that is delusions or hallucinations. Episodes of extreme anger or violence. Some people says like this is my normal thing. I am very angry, or some people say like this is not my type, this is not me. But from last few weeks, I am suffering from so much anger. Most of the parents complains about their child, like he or she is getting very angry and violent. So this is also a warning sign that you have some underlying cause for a mental illness. Thoughts of self-harm or suicidal thoughts. This is also a warning sign that your mental health is not normal. You are suffering from a mental illness. Right? So there are different type of mental illnesses like personality disorder, bipolar mood disorder, depression disorders, anxiety disorder, schizophrenia disorder, or eating disorder. Let's start with the personality disorder. Personality disorder in which people have a rigid and unhealthy pattern of thinking, functioning, and behaving. Right? So, uh, in personality disorder, the symptoms comes are frequent mood swings, extreme dependence on other people, extreme vanity, stormy personal relationship, social isolation. Social isolation is a very, very important symptom in a person. If a patient comes to you and says, like, from last few weeks or last few days, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to I just want to stay alone. So this is not a right thing. Angry outburst, suspicion and mistrust of others, difficulty in making friends. Some people are like that. This is like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can't make friends. I don't have that courage to talk to others and to make them friends. So this is also a sign of a mental illness. Another is bipolar disorder. Bipolar mood disorder is a disorder associated with episodes of mood swing from depressive low to maniac high. Sometimes patient is very much depressive, and all of on the other hand, the patient is like maniac high, like he or she behaves like a maniac person, like a very, very high person, violent person, right? So in the bipolar mood disorders, the symptoms are decreased need for sleep. Patients sleep very less. He or she just sleep for just 1 hour or 2 hour, or even though that sleep is not sound sleep. And because of that, he's too much irritable, he's angry, and he or she is like very much violent. Racing thoughts and accelerated speech, restlessness, overconfidence, impulsive and risky behavior. As I told you, it's a depressive low to maniac high. So that time, if when the person is maniac high, he or she have a symptoms of impulsiveness and very, very risky behavior. You don't know what that person gonna do. Hopelessness in that person, withdrawal from family and friends, and lack of interest in activities. Change in appetite and sleep. As I told you in earlier, this is a warning sign. If a person says, I have drastic change in my appetite or in my sleep. That's why whenever we take a case of a patient, we always ask for their sleep and for their appetite. Feeling sad, hopelessness, lacking of energy, feeling of guilt and despair. So this is the symptoms of bipolar disorders. Now, what is schizophrenia disorder? The exact cause of schizophrenia is still unknown, but this is a disorder that affects person's ability to think, feel, and behave clearly. Right? As I told you, the exact cause of this disorder is totally unknown, but it is a combination of environmental, genetic, brain, and chemistry disorders, right? So, what are the symptoms of schizophrenia disorders? First, hallucination, delusion, as we discussed in warning signs. This is a symptom. This is a psychotic symptom like hallucination, delusion, disorganized behavior, negative symptoms, and negative thoughts, decreased participation in daily activities. This is the symptoms of schizophrenia. So as you see, whatever symptoms I am telling, these all are discussed already in the warning signs of the mental illness, right? So next, discuss with depression. So what is depression? Depression is just more than just sadness. There is a lack of interest in daily activities, significant weight loss or weight gain, insomnia or excessive sleeping, lack of energy, inability to concentrate, feeling of worthlessness or excessive guilt, and recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. Depression is most common mental disorder. Fortunately, depression is treatable. As you see, whatever symptoms are coming in the mental illness, these all I already discussed in the warning signs of the mental illness. What is the symptoms of the depression? Suicidal thoughts or attempts of suicide, trouble in concentration, fatigue, feeling of guilt and worthlessness, insomnia, loss of interest in things that brings joy. This is here we have a rubric: ailment from continence. Like person used to do that, and that thing gives person a happiness, but not in insomnia and eating disorder. People may be eating too much or too less. Now, what is anxiety? It's natural to feel anxious when you are faced with a situation such as taking an exam or making a speech at a function. I already give you example. It's me, for example, like I am giving as a webinar as a speaker. So this gives me a little bit anxiety before I start. So this much anxiety is pretty much common and normal, but you are having the anxiety without any cause or more than 2 weeks, this is not normal. That's part of your everyday life. But when it gets beyond control and disturbs your today activity, you may have an anxiety disorder. These disorders are quite common. Like I have researched in the Australian things. So 1 in 10 Australians will develop one at some point. They can make people feel very tense for a long time. I go to a retirement village where people like above 60, every day I see lots of people like old people. And this is very, very common disorder in the people. This is like common for any age, but as I'm telling you, like every day I go to a retirement village as a visiting homeopath there. So when I talk to them, they even don't know that they are suffering from anxiety, but their behavior can tell us they are suffering from anxiety. They said, I don't know why it's happening, but it's happening. I can't do my daily chores, which I used to do normally. So, and lots of other symptoms tells us that they are suffering from some mental illness. What happens in the anxiety disorder? Restlessness, excessive worry, fatigue. Sometimes people say like, I do nothing in whole day. I was just lying down on the bed, but still I feel so much tired. So this is also a sign of a mental illness or an anxiety disorder. Right? Impaired concentration, irritability, increased muscle aches or soreness. Now there is a very, very common disease in old people, especially in old people, is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive neurological disorder that causes the brain to shrink and brain cells to die. Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of loss of memory, a continuous decline in thinking, behavioral, and social skills that affects the person's ability to function independently. Now, what are the symptoms of Alzheimer's? Confusion with time and location, difficulty completing familiar tasks, as I told you, like your daily routine tasks, you wake up, you get ready, you go to work, you catch a bus or you catch a cab. So this is daily activity, daily chores, which you are familiar of, but you can't do it. Like day before yesterday, I saw a patient, like she is like nearly 88 or 89 somewhere. She just came to me and she said, Dr. Nupur, because she was suffering from insomnia, and I gave her some medication and she was better after that. So she just came to me, she said like, I am very better about my sleep, but the thing is that I can't read the written instructions. If somebody came to me and told me to do, you can just go there and do this thing, I can do that. But if I read the written instructions and I can't follow that instructions, I don't know what to do. So this is also a problem of our mental health. Misplacing items. People say like, I don't know, I just put the thing here and again I came here, I can't find it. So this is also a common problem of symptom of Alzheimer's. Withdrawal from social activities, poor judgment, trouble with images and spaces. As I gave you example, she said like, I can't do the written instruction because she is very good at knitting. And she said like, when I used to read the book and do the knittings and makes the things, but now I can't do it because I can't read I cannot follow the written instructions. Now, what is the journal management of mental health? Talk about your feelings. Talking about your feelings can help you stay in good mental health and deal with difficult times. Because if we talk to someone, we are just releasing our emotions out. And other things, sometimes we think crying is not a good thing. But I'm telling you, crying is a good thing because whenever you're crying, you're oozing out something. You're oozing out your internal emotions out. So if you talk to someone, if a person is crying and telling their symptoms to anybody, this is pretty much common, normal, and it's good for their health. Keep active and exercise regularly. Eat well and balanced diet. Drink sensibly and try cutting down on alcohols. Keep in touch with family and friends. Always ask for help. In Australia, we have a Are You Okay Day that was like 3 days before. So if you saw someone and being a homeopath, if we can sense that that person is suffering from some sort of problem, so better to ask them, are you okay? So in Australia we celebrate Are You Okay Day. Take a break. If you are thinking like, I can't do it's too much for me, always take a break for some time and then restart that. Do something you are good at, like whatever you can do, whatever is your hobbies, like singing, painting, art and craft. And especially for ladies, if they love cooking, they can start cooking and makes yourself happy. Like, and other thing I just want to discuss with you is it's a journal management, right? But I'm gonna tell you 3 points that how you can detox your mind. We have learned so many from so many videos from YouTube and like how to detox your body. Detoxification of your body is very important. At the same way, detoxification of your mind is very important too. So how can you detox your mind? Sorry. The first thing is, if you are feeling too much overcrowded in your brain, if you feel like I can't think, I don't know, too much in my brain, just write down your feelings. Whatever is in your mind, if you are feeling angry, just write angry. If you want to write about somebody else, a name like that person did it to me and I'm very angry with that. And your emotions, like write down, I'm feeling violent, angry, whatever is your emotion, just write it down on a paper and burn that paper into ashes. Literally, I tried that thing and it really works. Right. Another, I'm going to tell you 3 important points to detox your mind. And the second is, open your heart and confide to someone close to you. It can be your friend, it can be your husband, it can be your sister, it can be any family member or anyone whoever is close to you. Just talk to them. Talking can relieve so many emotions out and makes you feel better. Another thing is, the third and last point is adopting a spiritual practice. Like, just start yoga, start listening the some bhajans or whatever you like. Just start doing the spiritual practice. These three things will definitely help you to detox your mind. Right? This is the thing I told you. Points to detox your mind. Write down your feeling, open your heart, and adopting a spiritual practice. As you all know, homeopathic approach in managing mental health, how homeopathy help in the mental issue. As we all know, homeopathy is one of the most popular holistic system of medicine. The selection of remedies based upon holistic approach. This is the only way through which a state of complete health can be regained by removing all the signs and symptoms from which the patient is suffering. As we all know, we don't treat the disease, we treat the person. So if we're treating the person, we are treating the person as a whole, its mind, its body, emotions, and energy, all things. The aim of homeopathy is not only to treat mental problems, but to address its underlying cause and individual susceptibility. The remedies are available to treat mental problems that can be selected on the basis of cause, sensation, and modalities of the complaints. For individualized remedy selection and treatment, the patient should consult a qualified homeopathic doctor in person. That we all know. Now, this is the common remedies for the mental problem, but this is not sufficient. I just gave an idea. And now we all know how to improve our physical health, right? Okay, like we should do exercise, we should do that, we should eat a proper food. But how we can improve our mental health? I told you before how to detox your mind, but detoxification is good, but how you can improve your mental health as well? Use your body. The first point is use your body, because nature or God given us energy for everything. For your physical energy, they give you physical energy, they give you emotional energy to think, and they give you energy for every sort of doing things, right? But what we doing these days, we are just sitting down using mental energy more than the physical energy. So use your body. Sometimes I literally try that thing with the kids. If the parents comes to me and they said like, here in Australia, anxiety disorder in kids are very, very, very common, because here parents have separation, they have divorce, they are living mother living with somebody else, father living with somebody else, and they have some issues at home. So this is very, very common here. So anxiety disorders, depressions in childs are very much common here, right? So I always tell parents to take their kids to a specific sports, whatever they like, swimming, tennis, uh, footy, whatever the child likes, just take them to a sport and try to let that kid listen to music. That really helps. When they burn their energy, like a physical energy, and then listen to some music, it really helps to improve your mental health. Second point is connect with nature. Nature means like with water, with soil, with light, whatever the natural things we have. You should go out and connect yourself with the nature. It's gonna help you in your improve your mental health. Third is food that can help you to increase your mental health. Always, we all know we should always eat a healthy food and a energetic food. I give you one example, the ash god juice and the honey. It's very, very good to give you energy. If you take a 1 cup of coffee, I tried, seriously, I tried that thing. Instead of taking 1 cup of coffee, start your day, just start your day with the ash god juice. It gives you that decent amount of energy that you work very, very well for. The fourth point, the first point is use your body, use your physical energy. Second is connect yourself with nature. The third point is always eat a healthy food, or the food that helps you to work better, your mental health work better. Fourth is keep your colon clean. I think we have, all of us have seen so many patients like doctor. If I go to the when I wake up and I go to the toilet, and if my colon is clear, I'm happy. But if my tummy, if I'm constipated, if my tummy is not clean, I feel so much irritated and I feel like not good inside, right? So colon clean is important. The same way, clean up from your mind is always important. Whatever thoughts in your mind, just try to remove that. In computer we have some sort of data usage, like I can only use this much of space in the cloud. So after that, you have to delete old one and you need to put the new one, right? So the same way you should do with your brain as well. You should clean your brain, the old thoughts clean up and get the new thoughts in, or the good thoughts in. More exposure to the nature means more balanced you are. You can try yourself. If you go out to some sort of natural place, you feel so peace inside, right? And the last and the most important is engineer yourself of well-being. You know your body than anyone else, right? So your energy, for like your your physical health is important, your mental health is important, your emotional health is important, and your energetically health, like how much energetic you are, this is also important. So you are the person who knows how to balance these sort of energy. If you don't know, just go to a specific homeopathic practitioner. They know, they can tell you how to balance your energies and how to use that energy in a balanced way, right? So this is the point how we can improve our mental health. And we have lots of a huge number of remedies to to treat with the mental illness. We take the symptoms and then we just prescribe the medication, right? So thank you all. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a very nice description of mental illness. And we have with us Dr. Mamta Kumar. I would like to invite her to raise questions if we have any in the chat box. Dr. Mamta, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear my voice?
There's so much echo, ma'am. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello? Yes, ma'am. Please
Are you able
take
to
the
hear me?
questions. Yes, yes, you're audible.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you please take up the questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you,
Go
Dr. Nupur Sharma. That is very wonderful and informative webinar, and very nice information about the detoxification, the mind, mental diseases. And here only one question is there.
What's the question?
That please differentiate between the bipolar diseases.
Differentiate between bipolar and
The question is, please differentiate between bipolar and schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is like a combination of environmental and genetic brain chemistry disorder. But in schizophrenia, we have hallucinations and delusions and disorganized behavior of a person. But in bipolar, there is lot of episodes of mood swings. Patient is depressively low, and at the other hand the patient is too maniac high. The mood swings are too much in the bipolar disorder, and there is no mood swings in schizophrenia.
There is one more question, ma'am, from Dr. Rekha Sharma. How can we treat a person of anorexia nervosa patient?
Again, as we all know in homeopathy, we just take the symptoms and the underlying cause of that thing. Maybe they have some sort of episodes or something happen in their life which is affecting him or her, that is giving that symptom. We need to take that cause, then only we can treat the patient.
And how to treat schizophrenia patients?
The same way, we need to take a symptoms of that disease and the underlying cause of that disease, then only we can treat the person.
If a person, there's one more question from Nisha Shah. If a person is reserved since childhood, it's difficult to judge that he became indifferent later. How we then differentiate and cause?
If the person is reserved from childhood, that is his normal behavior, right? So we will not take that behavior in our totality. We only take the symptoms what is different in that disease. If that person is coming from a particular came to you for a particular disease, and just ask them कि इस disease को, whenever that patient is suffering from this symptom, what are the underlying cause or what are the symptoms of that time. We will take only that symptoms in our totality. We don't take that reserved because he or she is reserved from the childhood, but we can ask the parents, like, is something happened in their life or in his life that he became reserved. But reserved from a childhood, it's like it's their behavior, so we'll not take that symptom.
We have some more questions, but we have one more speaker, and I think in his presentation we will be able to answer all your question about the causes. It's about emotional causes of physical diseases. And before inviting the second speaker, I would like to take the opportunity to honor Dr. Nupur Sharma for her gracious presence with the CAST certificate.
Thank you.
Kindly accepted from the entire team of Ka Homeopathy Study Group, ma'am. Many congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
Dr. Shweta. Thank you so much.
Now, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us in the odd hours. Now, I would
That's
like
why I'm feeling a bit sleepy. My eyes are swollen.
you can take rest, ma'am. Thank you for joining.
That's all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want to listen to Dr. Krutik as well.
Sure.
Thank
So let us welcome our second speaker, Dr. Krutik Shah, and he will enlighten us about emotional causes of physical diseases. Welcome, sir. You can please start with your presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shweta. It was wonderful lecture, Dr. Nupur Sharma. I learned many new things which I will apply into my practice. So thank you for the wonderful session. Dr. Shweta, I would like to know how much time do I have, because my presentation is quite long and I need to I need a specific idea so that, I can, it's like almost I have 49 slides to be finished. So if you can tell me the time slot, I'll be in a much better situation to go.
Sir, we will be having at least 1 hour. So you
1
can...
hour. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. So this is the topic I would say which is very close to my heart, and will tell in a very nutshell about the emotional causes of physical diseases, which is probably what Dr. John Ware, the famous Scottish physician, who has given a quote to Hahnemann. That's it's a long quote, but to make it short, that some people are not on time, but they are before time, and and it still obtains. This what you call the treasure, what I have found in Organon, applying into my day-to-day practice using aphorisms, have really made me to a great success, and that I would like to share it with you on a very clinical level. So I'll be very happy to receive your feedback, criticisms, or in whatever ways, so that I can also understand the understanding what you have received out of my lecture. So before beginning the lecture, let's have the Hahnemannian oath. On my honor, I swear that I shall practice the teachings of homeopathy, perform my duty, render justice to my patient, and help the sick whosoever comes to me for treatment. May the teachings of Master Hahnemann inspire me, and may I have the strength for the fulfillment of my mission. Jai Hahnemann, Jai Homeopathy. I will be going little fast. I will be speaking little fast. So if you have some concerns or points, please put a chat so that I can adjust my lecture accordingly. So now annotations are on. Okay, fine. So now this emotional cause of the physical diseases is not a new topic. In our movies also, these emotional causes have really been highlighted beautifully, and movies have earned 100 crores, 200 crores, even like Bahubali also. You know, movies are doing millions and trillions of rupees or dollars of income. Is they are primarily emotional, which touches us the most. You know, emotional arguments like mother-in-law, daughter, say for example, beta, or death or loved one is like Karan Arjun, mere Karan Arjun aayenge. You know, it's like love, disappointment, kuch hota hai. What was that? Jab We Met. All these movies, you know, sensuous and romantic are, you know, what this man, etc., etc., which are, you know, a struggle for survival and sacrifice, like Roti Kapda Makan. Or there are many movies which we know in our life are really have hit our emotions, or these movies are like forever. They are, you know, like Sholay, say for example, a movie of great friendship. So it is something which is the emotion which touches us the most. And Bollywood really follows homeopathy religiously. And that's what I really believe, that Bollywood really follows homeopathy religiously. And we need to learn from those movies, like Gabbar is Back, say for example, Gabbar. It's a movie of causticum, injustice cannot tolerate. Right? There are many movies. I mean, I can tell you 20 movies in a 1 minute, but since I have different topic to take, I will be going to that, but I will giving you glimpses of it. See, the basic fundamentals of homeopathy and allopathy is what you call allopathic science has taken a concept of reductionism. From body, there is a from body there is a they have made a reductionism. From body there is a system, and we have a specialist. Like I'm a dermatologist, I'm a nephrologist, I'm a pulmonologist, I'm a neurologist, I'm a cardiologist, I'm a gastroenterologist, I'm endocrinologist. So it's like, and into that, so say for example, in cardiology they have super specialty: interventional cardiologist, cardiothoracic surgeon, cardiac radiologist. So in a way they have gone to the concept of reductionism. So Hahnemann, instead of taking the concept of reductionism, he took the concept of holism. So body is made up from one cell. Whatever symptoms appeared on the different parts of the body are scientifically interconnected. So holism is something like the way we get a prick in the finger, we get emotionally or we get psychologically disturbed. If you are psychologically disturbed, body will or can become a victim of it. So that is one of the major reason why, you know, proving the concept of proving Hahnemann excluded, and he decided to prove the remedies on healthy human beings. Because ultimately, as Dr. Nupur Sharma said, which is very right, the word health uh, come from the word whole. Whole is mental, emotional, and physical well-being. But out of my understanding, or out of my what you call a knowledge, I really believe that there must be an innermost another level, which will be, I think, the level of what you call spiritual or vital or energy, whatever you say. Because we as a if you study the evolutionary theory of Darwin's law of evolution, you will understand what I'm saying. And that is what our all in Hindu culture, there are all the avatars, the avatars, 12 avatars, what has come on the planet is actually supporting the theory of evolution.
So more or less, we have another level. The world will come to know maybe after 20 years, 50 years, I don't know when, but Hahnemann has given a specific indication that there is another level deeper into that. So that I mean, after 5, 20, 50 years, the world will come to know about it, right? Going to next, the basic fundamentals. So for example, of 50 years back or 30 years back, or say for example, 15 or 20 years back, when what was the concept of health? What was the concept of health? Like, we used to go for a blood report, that all the blood reports have been made, all the reports are normal, person used to considered healthy, right? So initially it was the concept of mental health. But the same human being takes machine gun, goes in the school, kill 100 children. Is he healthy? He's not healthy. So then the concept of mental health came into play. But the world is now coming to reality after the epidemic of COVID, that there is a concept of emotional health, especially after COVID. Now the people have come to know, and this in the previous decade or previous 20, 30, 40 years, the fight or the or war was for land, or was for the materials thing, roti kapda makan, or fight like at the moment there is a Russia Ukraine fight and all. So in the previous 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, there were wars of the land or the home or the property. But now you will see the war of the thoughts, that is intellectual property rights. War of the emotions. Right now, I don't gel well with my mother-in-law. We have a problem. I don't gel well with my husband. We have a problem. My children doesn't follow me what I'm saying. There is a problem. I don't like my boss, the way he's treating me. There is a problem. So now there is a war of thoughts, war of emotions, conflict of emotions, conflict of thoughts. And then the reason is we are coming up with problems. And that's why the homeopathy is coming into greatest superiority and on the top surface, that now the people have really understood the importance and value overall in terms of understanding and for treatment for the diseases at the moment we are suffering, either chronic physical diseases or chronic psychiatric diseases, that is chronic mental emotional diseases. So with this is in nutshell I can tell you about allopathy and homeopathy. Now what we say about symptom, aphorism 7, right? I'm not going to touch into organon, but what is symptom? Like say for example, everyone, all the people who are attending, or everyone, we all have emotions of love, we have emotions of anger, sex, sympathy, jealousy, hate, suspicions. We have all the emotions. Every human being has more or less all the emotions, but which is abnormal, either more or less, defines the character of the person. So, oh, he is very sympathetic individual. Oh, he is very jealous individual. Oh, he is very suspicious individual. Oh, he's very angry young man like Nakswamika. Oh, he is very lascivious. Oh, he is very romantic. Oh, he is very this. Oh, he is very that. So in a way, the emotions defines the personality of the individual in a very, very specific way. And from the set of symptom, we go to symptomatology, which brings a concept of individualization. How you see is you. If physician clearly perceives what is to be cured in the disease, aphorism 3 first line. So what do we mean by perceive? Perception. Perception is guided by senses. And that's what homeopathy is all about, sense. Sense for the patient, sense for the physician. So like, for example, suppose a glass of half is full, right? One person will say half is full. The other one say half is empty. The third one will say half is full with water, half is full with air. All are more or less right. Say for example, if you see Taj Mahal, individualization. One person will say, oh, one of the greatest symbol of love. Shah Jahan love tremendously to Mumtaz. This is one of the wonders of the world, etc., etc. The other person will say it's a sign of brutality from the side of Shah Jahan, because he cut the hand of all the people who has made Taj Mahal, so that the another Taj Mahal cannot be made. It's a symbol of ego. The third person will say, I have nothing to do with love. The exterior is wonderful, interior is wonderful. I'm going with my family over there to have a picnic. We have good time, good evening, and then we come back home. So it's more or less individualization is how you see is you. And that is where the entire emotional cause of the physical diseases come into play. and that is very, very needed, right? Friends, can I have feedback quickly? Am I reachable to you? Can I have a very quick quick chat? Thank you, Dr. Nisha. I'll be very happy to have your critical reply also. If you don't like, please tell me frankly. I'll be happy to receive it out. You know, there is a saying, good press. Okay, thank you, Dr. Nisha. Thank you, Dr. Harinder. See, it's like, thank you, Dr. Ritu. Okay. It's like if the audience is sleeping, somebody needs to wake up the speaker. So I will not let you sleep. So now, if physician clearly perceives what is to be cured in the disease, then perception is guided by knowledge. Perception, what we perceive, the entire world, if you see proving also, Hahnemann has seen everywhere sensation, perception, sensation, perception, from where the entire theory of Dr. Rajan Shankaran sir has come out, sensation method, right? So perception, sensation, perception, sensation. So more or less, it is very much going in line with Hahnemann's understanding. So here, why we get sick is because of three problems: genetics, life itself, allopathic drugs. How not to get sick, that is 261st aphorism. And along with theory of chronic disease, if you want to read, 261st is the answer. What Hahnemann tells very clearly what you have to do. What glimpses of it Dr. Nupur Sharma ji has already mentioned. So this is something very important. And this is not in our hand. I mean, frankly speaking, I mean, can you tell me, can any one of you tell me that why you have this specific husband in your life? Why you have only this specific wife in your life? Why you have this specific set of parents in your life? Why you have only one brother? Why you have only one sister? Why you are a single child? Why your elder brother died? Why your younger sister died? Why you have this? Why you have that? Why you have this only specific family? Nobody can say. So homeopathy is a science of nature, and nature has a lot of secrets. It was, you need to have wisdom of Hahnemann, with which you can come out with the secret of nature in the name of homeopathy, in the form of homeopathy. So IPR at the moment, interpersonal relationship. Interpersonal relationship. I don't gel well with the nature of my wife. You know, my wife is Naxomika. I am like Ignatia. Right. Similarly, you know, you can't change a wife here, right? So it's like you, I mean, you can't change the husband either, but still, but this is the fact. So the point is, what Hahnemann tells specifically here is very, very clear. Aphorism 5, interpersonal relationship, 94, interpersonal relationship, 70, miniature, and 208. 208 is about be critical for the simillimum always. Here also you can add 93 if you want, right? But I mean, that is something that is on the bigger side of the organon, but you can take it out, this aphorism also. So from here, the emotional cause of the physical diseases come into play specifically, right? And going to the straight point about case taking, how we have to find out the emotional cause, whether this person has emotional cause in the life or not. I mean, 81st to 99 and 104. 100 to 103 is epidemic, so there is no need at the moment. 81 is genetic, 82 is individualization, 83 is general guidelines. From 84 onwards, proper casing starts. How to find PQR symptom? 147, 54, 64, 65, 178. So these are the aphorisms going PQRS. If you want to understand exactly that this is the emotional cause I'm getting in a patient, and that is confirmed, this aphorism should be approached. And my friends, there is hardly a day in my life, or I would say hardly a case in my life, I have not used organon in my practice. I have not used aphorisms. I have not used even words. Multiple words of multiple aphorisms have clicked the case. I've read organon more than 700 times in my life. And I love organon because organon has become a way of my life now. So these aphorisms are so live, so vibrant. Once you read it, it is no longer words written on the paper. So rapport with the patients to get a proper emotional history. How, I mean, we can laugh to anyone. You know, I'm okay day, like Dr. Nupur Sharma has said, right? I'm okay day, right? It's a beautiful day. So we can laugh to everyone, but we can cry to in front of only those one whom we trust, whom we love, whom we are assured that they can help. And doctor is considered next to God. You know, mother is considered in place of God. Mother is considered in place of God, but doctor is considered next to God, because mother gives life, doctor saves life. So the person who is giving the life is always on the higher position than the one who is saving the life. So rapport with the doctor, rapport during the patient, rapport with the patient during consultation is an absolute must. Otherwise, what will happen? You will never be entering into the emotional cause, because you have to touch the emotional level, which is very vital, right? Crying. If a patient cry, let them cry. Let your another patient sitting out of your consulting chamber for 5-10 more minutes. Peace and happiness, of the face. I'm taking two to three new cases in a day, and I'm one of the costliest consultant in the state of Gujarat. But what I focus on quality. You see, Hahnemann himself has said, if you go to his Paris case records, the later part of his life, the literature, his concept little bit started differing. Patient first, then science. What this actually means is, homeopathy is not a science of mass. It's a science of class. If you want to do classy work, take limited number of patients, serve them well. That's what homeopathy is all about. It's not the number of patients you take in a day. It's about the percentage of result you provide amongst the patient you take every day, right? So from this little bit further, emotional causes usually are hidden. Usually you will never come to know directly. Patient will not say, doctor, I have strong love disappointment in my life. I have developed blood pressure. You give me either ignacia or lachesis. No. Patient will not say, I have strong sexual abuse. I have UTI. Then after, I have a lot of indignation. You give me staphylococcus. No. Emotional injuries are very sensitive part of the human psyche. It's very sensitive part of the case. So you have to touch those information. You have to touch that part very, very carefully. And that's what is ultimately, what Hahnemann has used the word pregnant with meaning. What is pregnant? Something alive in the tummy of the lady. Suppose there is a very obese man who is going with large tummy, and a pregnant lady is going with a large tummy. There is a difference. So pregnancy is something is alive inside the womb. So in this information, you will find something alive. That's what Hahnemann tells. But it is pregnant. It is hidden. It is hidden. So pregnant with meaning. So case is pregnant with ailments. Pregnant with meaning. That's what word Hahnemann is used in 95 aphorism. So 95 aphorism is usually a timeline prescription. That is not I'm supposed to touch here. But when you are not clear with the case, you take a set of the information from timeline, you hit it, remedy will work, it will give you an indication of the new remedy. So that is ailments, emotional cause you will be able to find if you use 95 aphorism into your practice. Acute disease, this is again from Theory of Chronic Disease, chapter 3, Friends of Health, where Hahnemann talks about acute disease 1 to 3 years, chronic disease 1 to 3 years, 1 to 3 days, chronic disease 1 to 3 years. More or less, if you see acute disease, either 1 to 3 days, you get the cause, exciting cause or whatever. Chronic disease 1 to 3 years, you will be able to get the cause. Suppose a patient has developed diabetes in 2015. Your area of interest should be from 2012 to 2015 or 2013 to 2015. What happened wrong in this person that this person developed diabetes? Wonder, but it's true. And you have to, this is what Hahnemann tells, body is aware with the symptoms, not with the cause. We have to find out the cause. That's why people are paying us. Otherwise, nobody will pay us. Right? There is no difference between a simple other human being and the doctors. So 1 to 3 years and 1 to 3 days for acute and chronic. This is of a great value, friends. Trust me, if you use this information in your practice will really go very high. And I'll be very happy to see you having a roaring practice, because I'm here to inspire you, not to impress you. I am a simple student of homeopathy. I would like to die as a student of homeopathy. But what I'm sharing with you is absolutely experience tested, time tested information. And this is really evolved, critically checked, and double checked information I'm sharing with you. So use 95 aphorism in your practice. See 1 to 3 days of exciting cause in acute. See 1 to 3 years of exciting cause or maintaining cause or fundamental cause in chronic. You will find out beautiful information. Beautiful, right? So, similarly, 16 aphorism. What Hahnemann tells? Suppose, say for example, Suppose a patient is sitting in front of you for diabetes. Why this person has diabetes in his life? Why not cancer? Why not migraine? Why not chronic constipation? Why not this? Why not that? Why not etc. other problem? Why diabetes? Only diabetes this person has. Okay, let's believe this person has diabetes. But why at this very specific age in his life this person developed diabetes? Why not 10 years before? Why not 10 years after? No answer. Even say for example, person has developed diabetes, but why only on this specific pattern itself? Some people come up with diabetes with complications. Some people diabetes is found accidentally. Some people are having very vague symptoms. So what ultimately Hahnemann tells is what eventually you will be able to see is how patient perceive his suffering. That is aphorism 16. It's not from my pocket. More severe diseases may be produced by sufficient system of idea through imagination. Through imagination, perception. What actually in a one or the other way, what is called is delusion, the interpretation. So more or less, and it is that delusion is the most deeper level. That is what Dr. Rajan Shankaran in his practice has said. No, there are levels. One of the level, I don't know much about his theory, but there is a level of delusion somewhere fourth or fifth. This is very right. It's coming from organoid directly. So also, if you treat those delusion, if you take that, they are the highest level of PQRS symptom, highest level of variation, most minute and most important information. Use those to get the best of cure or to get a best of effect. So this is aphorism 16. Now going to that, ailments, what you call exciting cause, can work as it's like emotional cause. Say for example, emotional cause can work as an exciting cause, can work as a maintaining cause, can work as both also, can work as fundamental cause, or you can say causa occasionalis in every aspect. Suppose a child at the age of 15 loses his father. In COVID times, we have seen a lot of sudden deaths. People of 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years have died, leaving their entire what you call treasure, millions and trillions of dollars of property and money, but they are of no use. So the son is very young. Death of father or mortification or whatever you say, sudden responsibility has come on the head of the child. Stress, missing the father, knowing nothing how to manage all these assets and all, putting a lot of stress. So many times a single event can produce multiple exciting causes. So you get multiple ailments in a case, ailments from love disappointment, ailments from grief, ailments from excitement emotional, but you have to understand how what patient perceives it, because that is something very important. Say for example, I've seen cases, I mean, to be honest with you, that I mean, one of them, I mean, I've seen husbands, I've seen wives also thanking God for letting the death of their partner, letting the death of their partner. Oh, my wife died, I feel relieved. So there is no cause. It's a relief from the cause. Oh, my husband died, I feel blessed now. I can live my life whatever. I mean, that's why the concept, the concept of marriage is no longer valid in Europe. In Europe, you mean if you cannot change there is a saying, if you cannot change the girl, change the girl. Or if you cannot change the partner, change the partner. That is the concept of Europe. So here marriages are still there. There are problems. We have ups and downs every day. So marriage itself is a battle, itself is a fight. But more or less, we have a culture, we have a ritual. So we are living it publicly happily. Internal story, no, it's within them only. So more or less, this specific point, ailments is something which is exciting, maintaining, fundamental, or anything. And if that you have to ask from the patient what he perceived, because many times what you believe, I mean, is something. Suppose I remember one of the minister of government of Gujarat whom I took the case. Say for example, I think 3 years back, 3 to 3.5 years back, he said my wife died and I really miss her. I mean, this and that, etc. But he used to be very dominating, very selfish, very egotistical, and very strong like person, right? Then then I ask the question at the end, do you really miss your wife? I mean, after the repo, after the proper case thing has ended, because that from there, I believe it's an important ailment. He said, not at all. So, so out of his what you call prestige, out of his what you call big name, the person didn't open up frankly to me during in the beginning or mid of the case thing. But at the end, there was no ailment. So many times things doesn't look same as they are actually. When you go end part of the case, things completely go opposite. So this is the fact, right? Friends, can I have feedback very quickly? Am I going okay? Quick chat, please. I hope. What is the time? I need to have a watch on the time also. 9:47. Okay. Quick feedbacks. Yes, Dr. Nisha. Yes, Dr. Hari. Thank you, Dr. Man. Thank you, Dr. Sudhir. Great. Okay. Super. Thank you, Dr. Dilip. Going fast, right? Okay. Now here, what is the ailments? What we have in repertory? Ailments from love disappointment, we have 100 remedies. Ailments from grief, we have 100 remedies. Ailments from sexual abuse, we have 25 remedies. Ailments from mortification, indignation, these, that, etc., etc. We have so many remedies. But how they have come up? They have come up because it is an exaggerated way of presentation. It is an exaggerated way of presentation from himself, either from relatives or from the homeopath himself during the observation. And that's why they are entered into the materia medica and so as in the repertory. No feeling for wife dead could also be a deviated symptom. Let us discuss about it at the end, Dr. Padmaja. So now the case taking, I mean, overall, if you want to understand the behavior of the patient, behavior in terms of IPR, interpersonal relationship, aphorism 6, aphorism 96, aphorism 93. Just a second. Okay. 6 is very important. 93, very important. 220 is actually very important. So you get direct information from where you get good history, patient himself, relatives, and your observation. Many times, you know, people are giving very sorrowful information, very painful information, very painful, but they are not crying at all. They are sitting in front of you. They are telling you information as if they are very detached, as if they have not been affected that much. Then, I mean, you have to think about it. Is it actually a reliable information with which we can base our prescription? Doubtful, very doubtful. So in a way, this is something very important, right? Thoughts, Carl Jung, this is the biggest truth of today. Now the world is going towards this conflict. What the famous psychiatrist Carl Jung has said, a thought, if repeated, becomes an action. An action, if repeated, becomes a habit. A habit, if repeated, becomes a character. And if a character, if repeated, decides the destiny. So everything in life is thoughts. And that's why Hahnemann, being a genius, super genius, he left the concept of proving on animals and proved it on human beings, healthy human beings, so that minimum deviation from the normal pattern of the mind can be really established strongly. Right? With this, going to next and now going to the these mental disease aphorism, that is specific emotional cause. I am supposed to touch the emotional cause of the physical diseases. What Harriman has said, I'm not going to take entire aphorism. Faults of education. Many times we have not been taught. I mean, a person from a very remote village, a very border from where the country is border, say for example in Jammu Kashmir country or the last village, will never have an education what we have in a city where we live. Of course it's not. So it may look weird to us, we may look weird to her, right? So opposite, corrupt morals. We are, you know, at the moment, you ask yourself, you don't need to tell me, you don't need to tell anyone, you ask yourself, there is at least a secret in your heart or in your mind which you only know. We are the people with secrets. We are the people with, you know, more or less, we must have done something wrong which we only know. Corrupt morals, bad practices, masturbation, extramarital affair. I mean, what is not fair is called affair, you know. What is, cheating, etc. A lot of things. These are corrupt morals. Then you can fool to the world, but how can you fool yourself? Then your psyche goes in conflict with your behavior, and then there is a that conflict produces disturbance, and then you have a disease. So corrupt morals, neglect of mind. There is always a voice within us. What we do, either it favors us or uh, uh, I, it stops us. Either it favors us or it says not to do. I don't know the opposite word of favor, but is it actually favoring us or not favoring us? Neglect of mind, superstition or ignorance. We have I mean, मेरा बाप प्रधानमंत्री है, मेरा बाप मुख्यमंत्री है, and suddenly the social setback comes. The person is no longer existing on the society. So that is bad practice. There are so many things which is our behavior that is corporeal, that affects the body, mind to body, and that is very, very essential to understand. And that is where what is actually happening? Grief, unhappiness, and grief. You cannot cheat to the world, but I mean, you can cheat to the world, but how can you cheat yourself? You can't cheat yourself. I mean, you know what you've done, right? So that internal turbulence, internal disturbance at the level of emotions, this grief is emotion, unhappiness is emotion. We have rubrics, right? If they are going to greater disorder, the truth is rational represent where we wish to restore the lost harmony, but by means of the disease, going deeper into the body, and then eventually the entire body will be destroyed. That is emotional cause of the physical diseases. That's what Dr. Nupur has also said. No desire for food, no good quality sleep, not needed to work, then alcohol, then drugs, wine, women, and all the negativity comes in life. So that disturbance needs to be understood in a very specific way, right? And that is what Hahnemann talks in 225 aphorism. That is the concept of emotional diseases. See the word used, Hahnemann, emotional diseases. I mean, do we have actually emotional diseases? I mean, we have to have the hierarchy. If you read the wonderful book of Science of Homeopathy by Professor George Vitulka sir, he has given the levels, the emotional layer also has some importance, hierarchy. I request you to read that book. You will get good information for your better understanding. So what actually Hahnemann tells here is that slightly indisposed originate and are kept up. Why you have this kind of father, say for example, in your childhood, who used to be very dominating to you, like fright. There are a lot of children who fear their father. There are a lot of children who fear their mother, right? School teacher, anxiety, continuous anxiety, family worries, vexation, wrongs, I mean, etc. What not? These are slightly indisposed and they're kept up. Kept up means they are continuously working on as a disturbing factor to health, what you call maintaining cause. And what eventually happens is that emotional diseases in time destroys the corporeal health to a great degree. They destroys the corporeal health. Complete, the health is now gone. So because you are a victim of emotional diseases affecting the corporeal health. And that's how, as a result, you become sick. And that allopathy doctor will never believe that, they say you throw it out of your mind. But if you are able to throw it out of your mind, why would it have been a need of yours, right? So 226 is all about, these emotional diseases, yet recent, and before they have made a very great inroad into the corporeal state. That is emotional causes of physical diseases. This is a direct connection from where this emotional diseases affecting the corporeal state. What can be done? Display of confidence, friendly exhortation. Sometimes, counseling plays a major role, and homeopathy has a great to do with counseling. I have a lecture of 2 hours. Homeopathy, importance of counseling in homeopathic practice. It's a 2-hour lecture. How different types of patients should be counseled, in what way. I mean, it's a completely clinical side. In future, maybe we can have a take of it. But this is how needed. Recently, I have a case who was in tremendous depression. We have given gelsemium, but that particular patient was so into turmoil. I used to talk to him for 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour. He was in tremendous depression, tremendous thought block. But talking to him, understanding his psychology, talking to him, understanding his psychology, talking to him, understanding his psychology, showing confidence, friendly exhortation, sensible advice. Rapidly, what happened is that the patient became normal. And eventually, he was able to appear in his exam. He was able to perform in his exam also very well, along with the right medicine. So medicine was given. It was gelsemium. Wow, it was working also very well. But these psychical remedies, you know what Haniman is talking about in 226. This psychical remedy helped the case beautifully. It made I was able to help that soul very faster than what it could have been overall. Right. So this is how, in nutshell, I can talk about. In nutshell, it is like, please specify differentiation between emotional cause and emotional disease. Dr. Nisha, I will tell you at the end. It's a very good question. Now going to the emotional cause specifically, emotional cause of the physical disease, grief. There is a saying, no, there is a song, जिया जले जहाँ जले नैनो तले धुआं तले, matlab the heart is burning and the eyes are pouring waters. So that is like, a silent suffering where you cannot escape, where you cannot leave. So you cannot face and you cannot leave. Both are the situation. Suppose a first child has taken a birth on the earth and he has autism. It's a severe autism. What is the scenario of the parents, especially the mother, is called grief, real grief. Here the example is alcoholic father. The patient had a alcoholic father, died very early. He was raised by the uncle. Overall had a lot of, her mother, was staying with the in a joint family with elder uncle, and as a result, that you also know that, when you have a father in the home and you have no father in your home, there is a big difference in the eyes of society. So this mother had a lot of sufferings to she has faced a lot of sufferings. As a result, it was great grief for the child, and eventually his elder uncle also died, and the grief became increased because everything came on his shoulder. So this is how, like, the typical grief that a divorced son is observed by the parents, or a divorced daughter with a child returning from the marriage to the native home, and the scenario of the parents can be called as grief, where there is silent suffering. They cannot say, they cannot escape. It's like, I this time इस side खाई है, इस side कुआं है, and you have to face that scenario. That is grief, right? Second is love disappointment. Love is something, a supreme human emotions, but most crippling to many people. Love is something of feeling of completeness, but it can poison for many people as well. So love disappointment is like very common. We have ignition, atramure acid, phosphate, aurum, met, hyoscyamus, lachesis, so many remedies, right? Platina. So here is like, it's a beautiful case of a patient or having strong acidity, that he was liking a girl since his school days. After 4 years of long waiting, that girl said yes to him and she was ready to get married. So it was the first love for the child, for the male, and first love could have been for the female also. I don't know the other side of the story, that's why I'm not sure about it. But it was a first love from the side of a male. Suddenly, after a month or so, he got a news that the girl whom she was dating got married. Got married because they were on different caste. The male was of different caste and the other was of a different caste. And these caste problems are specifically seen in India. Primarily, we all are aware about it. So this is something which is a very big shock for that person. Developed acidity, very bad acidity. I gave natramure to him with a very good effect. So this is emotional cause of the physical diseases. Anger suppressed. Now, anger suppressed. Anger is like it's like what you call, you have to control your aggression. That is, anger is like an acid. The acid in whatever vessel it is, whatever pot it is, it also damages the internal layer of that pot. So anger, wherever it is in the mind, it also damages the mind. The lady, you know, there is a big story for this, but to cut it short, the lady was a government employee, and all the people, she was very workaholic, very nice person. You can understand how carcinosin is. Nine out of 10 times carcinosin are good people. Okay. So all the people surrounding to her were putting work on her table or on her shoulder, because she was a government employee and she used to come 7 o'clock in the morning in the office, and she was not able to get free at even 11:30 in the night. They were a government employee. So, you know, what is the rule of the government? Never say no, and ना ना कभी बोलना नहीं और कहने के बाद कभी करना नहीं. Never say no and then never do after saying yes. This is the government policy. After our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, there is a lot of a change in the government behavior. That is different thing. But still, this is the common mentality of government people. So out of overwork, she'll end up into rheumatoid arthritis because her mother has rheumatoid arthritis. So I gave carcinosin with a very good effect. Patient was much improved. I hardly have given more than 200 potency. Like the similar problem neighbor with boss, you know, it was a big story. But similarly, out of like this, lot of anger, the lady has to suppress who was her neighbor and who was her employee also. The boss was accidentally became a neighbor, and who was the boss of that lady also. So एक lady का neighbor उसका boss है जहाँ पे वो काम करती है, and that of his dominating behavior of the boss in the office as well as a neighbor, he used to harass very badly. Lady landed up into gastritis. Lycodium was given with a beautiful change, and eventually the lady was able to change the job. So she got a better job thereafter. So eventually lycopodium did very well. Scorn being means unjustly treated, humiliated, looked down in public. You know, like, you know what is called right now we get the what you call rape, gang rape, or buy, borrow, or steal. You know what is? I mean, I'm not getting the exact word. Say for example, people have been slapped on the in the public. Say for example, Donald Trump, somebody throw a shoe on the face of Donald Trump where he was speaking. This is scorn. Somebody slapped Arvind Kejriwal when he was standing on the car, if I'm correct. This is scorn, right? So this is something which is public defamation, unjustly treated, humiliated, looked down upon, which they don't deserve at that place, but they have been, someone's behavior affected them. So it was a case to me. Very good daughter-in-law got married because of law marriage. Her mother-in-law never accepted the daughter-in-law in her home. There are a lot of dispute. Whenever there is a guest, the daughter-in-law used to curse, used to get a lot of curse from her mother-in-law. And eventually she was so disturbed emotionally, so disturbed emotionally. As a result, what happened is that she became infertile. She was not able to deliver a child. And eventually, she had a child, but she aborted. So both the scenario, everywhere it was going Orambet. After giving Orambet, there was a lot of relief. And eventually at the moment, I am still in touch with that lady. She has one son. So it's how the remedy usually work. Before marriage, father was alcoholic, used to beat used to beat his daughter very badly till she get fracture. And it was a kind of, I would say, the Stramonium kind of a father, or Naxomica kind of a father, or very strong, dominating, Lilium tigrinum type of father he was. Whenever he's angry, her daughter used to run away. And the daughter used to come back after 2 days or 3 days back to her home with a prior safety measures, that hope the father still is not angry as he was before few days. After she got married, she got similar type of husband who was also abusive to her, who was also physical to her. She came with chronic vertigo and cystitis, recurrent cystitis, cephysagria. You know what happened? there is a great change in the behavior of the female after receiving Stepsigria, and now she is very abrupt, very straightforward, and the husband has really get a lot of hit backs, bounce back, rebounds. What he has done from the from his abusive behavior, now it's a hard time for the husband because of the change of the behavior of the wife. Because Stepsigria, when you give Stepsigria, they cannot tolerate injustice; they react. So this is the beauty. Now, this is very important. Mortification and indignation. These two rubrics go together. These two emotional causes go together. It is like anger with hurt is indignation. Anger without hurt is mortification. You see this. Anger with her without hurt is mortification, right? And I need to change this slide. Okay. And you see this now. Anger, hurt with anger is indignation. So this is how, okay, I'm supposed 10-8. Okay. So this is how, in a way, more or less, this differentiation is. You have to ask the patient how much anger reaction, how much anger involved into your reaction. If a person says there was no anger, there is no anger, so it's mortification. Emotional cause of physical disease will be mortification. And the lot of anger was involved. It is what you call indignation. I give you an example. A lady was very loyal in a relationship. Uh, they had, I think, 2 years or 3 years of serious affair. They were living life very peacefully, life of togetherness and everything. Suddenly, the boy had a birthday next day, and this lady wanted to give a surprise to that partner, to her partner. What happened is that in the next day, suppose tomorrow is the birthday, so tonight after having a good dinner, lady uh, went to her home saying that let us meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is your birthday. But everything was planned as a surprise at 12 o'clock in the night, but nobody was aware. But he was specifically not aware that he is going to get a surprise from her partner 12 o'clock in the night. So what happened is that that lady went her home at 12 o'clock. She went at her home with a cake, with a wonderful, card and a lot of emotional expression. You know how Netram are, right? Great emotional expression to that person. When she went at the home of her partner, his home, he was sleeping with someone else, and she caught him red-handedly without saying a single word. Simply left him without uttering a single word. When I asked in the consultation, she said there is no element of anger. She said my love would have been less, that's why he has to go to someone. The remedy was natramune. It's mortification. Tremendous. Real loves. Heer Ranja, Romeo Juliet, Leila Majnu. This is love, tremendous love. There is no anger. Opposite. The indignation. It was a case of acute appendicitis. I had presented these acute cases at some other platform, I think at Kerala or I don't know, evidence-based case studies. This was the boy is studying. He was studying in a college on the other side, on the back side of my hospital. There is a huge college. The boy was studying in a second year, and he was loving some girl, and they were into a relationship. And suddenly, what happened is that her, his roommate, in the hostel, there were two boys were staying in the same room. Mr. X was in relationship with a girl. When Mr. X and Mr. Y were sitting together at the canteen or somewhere, suddenly a message came from that girl to Mr. Y. Hey baby, I love you. What are you doing? And that message would pop up. Pop up. In the earlier years, that was like no WhatsApp you can hide or this or that. They were normal messages, right? 2000. I'm talking about 2013, 14, if I'm correct. That was a pop-up. So pop-up blink on the screen. So he saw this, that this is the girl's name and she has sent a message to this boy, Mr. Y. So Mr. X, who was officially in a relationship with that girl, was into tremendous anger, tremendous hurt, tremendous everything. And he next day, early morning, lined up into colic of the abdomen, typical acute appendicitis, and brought to the hospital of a surgeon which is next to my hospital. That surgeon says, if this is acute appendicitis, you have to get operated. But this person said that I am staying in a hostel. I cannot uh, go for operation because first of all, I don't have that much money, what you are asking. Second, my family is almost 500 kilometers away from this place. I don't want to go for this surgery. And he was terribly disturbed psychologically because what has happened. Because they were very serious in an affair and they were supposed to get married, and suddenly this whole scenario came out. Then somebody suggested you go to homeopathic hospital. Here you get good results and etc. with cheap cost and all. That's what the beauty of homeopathy is all about. So I took that case. I gave causticum 1 m. Within 3 hours, patient started improving. He was under observation for 4 days. Every day sonography has been made. Last day he was completely normal. It was I have that case as an evidence. So this is the remedy was element from indignation. And it was, colocin has an effect on hollow organs like ureter, colon, or appendix is a diverticule. It's a kind of a hollow structure where the food is being impacted. So colocin has a beautiful result I received upon this acute presentation. But the emotional cause was indignation. And eventually I turned out as a prescription, right? Abuse sexually. It's a very common scenario at the moment. Some some lady are provoking a sexual abuse, especially what we see, what you call the metro cities. If you see prostitutes and etc., they are roaming on the road. They provoke you for this. That is not sexual abuse. Sexual abuse has to be a very genuine abuse where there is an emotional involvement. Or you see typical rape where what is being made, all the brutality, it can be considered a part of this. Where I still remember a case that a beautiful couple in a in a next to my city in a Vidyanagar, where a lot of colleges are there. Beautiful couple. They were so serious about the marriage. It was, I think, 6, 7, 8 years relationship. They were made for each other. Wonderful, wonderful. Suddenly, the male's father died in a heart attack, and everything got shattered in 1 month. The elder uncle took away the property. They throw the mother and the other sister out of their home. Everything was shattered, and eventually, as a result, this relationship, the daughter's father disagreed for the marriage now, because there is no family background or financial background or a stability on the part of the male partner. So father was not willing to get her married. I mean, father was right from his point of view also. What happened is that lady became infertile after marriage. She got married to someone else. She was forced to get married because of her father to someone else. She became infertile. So remedy was sepia. The part which is used the most is getting the diseased most. That is uterus and vaginal part. So sepia has a lot of symptoms. It's a beautiful mater medica. So it is like this. I mean, a child was, daughter was abused sexually by her father in the childhood. Say same thing happened at the after the marriage. The husband was very dominating without taking the consent of the wife. He used to go for sex. So the female had a lot of low self-confidence, amenorrhea, aversion to sex. Pulsatilla was given on the emotional cause of sexual abuse with a very good effect. Discord and quarrel, there is a difference. Friends, can I have feedback quickly? Can I have a feedback? Am I going okay? Questions I'll be answering a little later on. Friends, please give me a feedback. Are you able to read me well? I'll take 5 more minutes, not more than that. Quick chat, please, so that I'll be able to understand that am I going go good. Thank you everyone. Good. Okay. So discord and quarrel. There is a difference between ailments from quarreling and ailments from discord. Quarreling means you are involved, like you are fighting with your wife, you are quarreling with your wife. So it is ailments from quarrel because you are actively involved. But parents are fighting, mother and father are fighting, and child is getting the hit. Child is being affected. It's discord, where you are not actively involved. You are seeing the fight and you are getting affected. That is discord. When you are a fighter, you are a part of the fighting. It's quarreling. So quarreling can be between chief and subordinates, the boss and the employee, the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. Usually the husband is a sandwich of both. Between the parents. Many times elder parents, like in-laws, their parents. I have a lot of stories like that in my career. I've heard between the friends. One of the discord, I was a victim of elements of discord. Fortunately, I was relieved out of that, because one of my friend who took money from my other friend in front of me, he took 2 lakhs rupees in 2006, 2007, if I'm correct. It's a big money to 2007. And what happened is that that person took the money, faced a lot of financial loss, and as a result, the entire friendship was going to the toss, had gone for the toss. And I was like, to whom I should talk? I should talk to my this friend, or I should talk to my this friend. This is how their friendship has been shattered. Now they both are living in the same city, but they are not communicating with one another. And I am the one who got a hit, because my friendship was grossly even it is still at this moment grossly compromised from both the sides. I mean, I have not made any mistake. I was just a witness, right? So similarly, a child I was having a child who got that typical loss of appetite, etc., etc. Looking at the fighting between the parents, and that is typical magnesium group. Mag-Mur, especially Mag-Mur, Mag-Carb. Magnesiums are don't fight, don't fight, don't fight. I'm getting affected. So typical Mag-Mur was the case to me. Stress. Stress is something how we see the situation. That is stress. Stress is not the situation from outside. Stress is situation from inside. And what is stress is when you have 1,000 rupees in your pocket and the demand is to spend 1 lakh rupees. You have only 1,000 rupees in your pocket, and the situation demands 1 lakh rupees from you is stress. When your requirement is more than your capacity, is stress. Simple. And in this way, stress is something not the problem outside, it's inside. And so as the solution is also inside. That's why the great spiritual leaders like Baba Ramdev or Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Maharaj or Sadhguru, or there are a lot of spiritual leaders at the moment, are giving us the guidelines how to live peaceful under stressful situation. Whether you consider inner engineering, or whether you consider art of living, or whether you do yoga, or etc., whatever. This is all making you calm from within. So the situation from outside doesn't affect you. Either you get a hit or you escape from the hit. The choice is yours. It's like that. Conflict can be created out of this situation. Situation, conflict, contradiction, ego, ambition, expectation, pressure, inability to cope, demand. Stress is out of from this situation. Situation is like you can't blame God for having a bad husband in your life. You can't blame your wife, I mean, to have a bad partner. Say for example, conflict. You professionally there is conflict everywhere. Contradiction, difference of opinion. वो गलत नहीं है, वो अलग है. Right? वो गलत नहीं है, वो अलग है. Difference of opinion, contradiction, expectation. Pulsatilla, always love me 100% at the 25th year of your married life or 50th year of your married life. Forget it. But they expect. Palladium, appreciate me, appreciate me, appreciate me. So expectation, ambition. I want to be the king of the world, right? Especially KGF, if you've seen KGF 2 and KGF 1, मम्मी पूछती है ना तुम्हें क्या चाहिए, तो बेटा क्या बोलता है, दुनिया. This is ambition, right? Ego. I mean, I is always capital, right? Sulfur, platina, demand. Lot of demand is there. Kalis are always very duty conscious. They have a lot of demand from themselves. Inability to cope. They are like coward remedies. Pulsatilla, gelsemium, Barita cup, stramonium, anacardium. They have a lot of confidence issues, stress issues, pressure. lot of pressure they have. So is the individualization, and so as should be the remedy. And in this way, and that is how the solution, responsibility, time management, face the situation, change the situation, resolve the issues, change the people, divert the mind, go for holidays, deep breathing, remain calm, change the relationship, change the job, enjoy the work, positive thinking, meditation, yoga, constitutive treatment. But more or less here, psychology, a emotional cause should be managed with, according to 224, 5 and 6, as I has mentioned earlier, we have to counsel them properly. And that is a big need. Counseling here plays a very major role, right? Anticipation, we all know what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. There is a difference between anxiety and anticipation. Anxiety is without cause, anticipation is with cause, with target, with a set goal. If there is a set goal and you have anxiety, it's anticipation. But without setting a goal, you have anxiety, is anxiety by definition. Ambition. I mean, ambitious people, we have lot of understanding ambition. I think I don't need to go deeper into that part. Money loss, financial loss. I mean, I have great cases of this type, evidence based. You know, a person following the loss of 1 crore rupees in one day in an intraday share market had a brain hemorrhage, improved miraculously with arnica, because financial injury is actually injury at the psychological level. And arnica is a remedy for physical injury as well as psychological injury. We had a very good improvement. The other person having a loss in the what you call share market, wanted to commit suicide, and he was wanting to get out of this life, because ultimately as a result his entire family is going to get suffer. He was very clear about it. I gave a Oramet, was relieved a lot. Disappointment means everything is being what you call, wishes remain incomplete. इच्छाएं पूरी नहीं होती है, बोलते हैं ना, जिनकी इच्छाएं जिंदा होने के बाद पूरी नहीं होती, वो भूत बनते हैं, वो अलग बात है. बट ये तो जिंदा अपनी जिंदगी में ही इच्छा पूरी नहीं होती. जैसे अगर गरीबी से लड़की कोई शादी करके अमीर घर में जाती है, लेकिन अगर वो पढ़ी लिखी नहीं है और वहां पे उसको कोई वो क्या बोलते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं देता, तवज्जो नहीं देता, तो उसको तो हमेशा ये लगेगा कि मैंने बचपन में पढ़ा होता तो आई वुड हैव लिव गुड लाइफ. सो दिस इज हाउ disappointment, where everything, most of the disappointment, education disappointment, love in the family disappointment, relationship in the family disappointed, it's disappointment in total. There is a difference between fear and fright. These are the two different things. Fear is constant phenomenon. Fear is constant. Suppose a wife is having a fear from the husband. Let's say, for example, husband is tremonium or lycopodium or noxomica, very dominating. Or a child is getting a fear from the husband, from the father. He cannot change the father, right? So it is constant. So that is fear. But a fright is a moment. Right now, suppose I'm sitting here in my hospital and suppose a terrorist comes and he puts a gun on my head and he says, I'm going to kill you. What those moments or what those minutes will be is fright. Fright is moment. Earthquake, fright. 26/11 or on the Taj in Mumbai, that is fright. 9/11 at WTC USA was a fright, very frightful incidents. But that cannot be considered fear, right? Egotism. Ego is I is always capital, whether you know it or not. You always behave yourself to be egotistical. Many times, a empty cup have a larger voice. So many times the ego is without knowledge. If a person is going towards, I have a great, one of the person who studied with Ambani's family, had a great practice, great business in the city name next to mine. He lost 100 crores in 1 month because of his over ambitiousness, because of his ego, because of his conviction that what he's going to do is he's going to give it back as 1,000 crores. He lost 100 crores in 1 month. He went into tremendous what you call fall, loss of business, and he developed with depression, he developed with acidity, he developed with chronic sinusitis, polyp and everything. Eventually was cured with calcireka. So it is how something it works. Honor wounded, injury to honesty. Everyone has the honesty within. If you injure someone, this is the story of everyday life. What you call typical honor wounded. Like, this is an injury to self-esteem. injustice cannot tolerate. Movies like Gabbar is back, say for example, Akshay Kumar. That is injustice. Jai Ho. Thank you नहीं बोलने का, 3 लोगों की help करने का. That is injustice. Bhagat Singh, Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was also injustice cannot tolerate, but he was towards carcinosin type. Bhagat Singh was causticum, pure causticum. Where this is how typical ailments usually work. Insult, accusation. Many times you receive what you call how much time? 10:27. Insult accusations. You receive a behavior in obnoxious manner. You insult somebody, like a wife, husband insults the wife in the public or privately, or husband insults the daughter in front of her friends without understanding what is right and what is wrong. Typical saas bahu ke jhagde, that is insult. Wife insult husband because she was convinced that he is having an affair, like a cis type wife, right? So this is insult, where you are injuring someone's what you call honor, self, what you call insult, right? Homesickness, typical when you are away from home, especially to a newly married woman. After going into her sasural, this is a very common ailment I have observed, and many times this ailment runs for 20 years, 25 years also. So that is nothing new. Deceived in friendship, typical. We know the movie Bodyguard. Typical Kareena Kapoor's friend eventually cheated her in the last moment, and she became a wife of Salman Khan. And eventually it's a whole movie of she wrote a diary, and her son tried to get a patch up with Kareena Kapoor and Salman Khan. Eventually the story ended well, but because it was a movie, story ended well. In real, many times it doesn't end well, right? So thank you very much. I would like to conclude my talk here. I'll be happy for questioning, and feel free to write to me if you want on this details. I'm open for question answer. Please, friends, can I have a feedback quickly? I know I've got very fast, but I'll be very happy to have your honest opinion. Thank you, Dr. Sudhir Sharma. Thank you, Dr. Padmaja. Thank you, Dr. Tabasam. Thank you, Dr. Sajuddin. Thank you, Dr. Suryakanta Boi. Thank you, Dilip Jani. Thank you, Dr. Punam. Great. Friends, can I have a feedback quickly so that I'll be able to understand was I okay, not okay? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Chalo, good. Yes, Dr. Shweta, please.
Thank you, sir. It was really great learning with you, and time ka pata hi nahi chala. Do we have any questions? Dr. Mamata,
Thank you,
is
Dr.
there any
Sudhir. Thank you,
question?
Dr. Pode. Yeah. Yeah, please. Thank you, Dr. Sudhir. Thank you, Dr. Mulli. Thank you, Dr. Dilip. Thank you, Dr. Ritu. Thank you, Dr. Sachin. Thank you, Dr. Shajuddin. Thank you, Dr. Suryakanta Boi. Thank you, Dr. Mamta. Great. Thank you, Dr.
Great
Rana.
response.
Great. I was
Super.
very fast because I know that this topic could have taken 2 hours, but I had a time limit to finish it out in 1 hour.
But it was excellent, really
Thank you
commendable.
very much. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Sir,
Tell me.
actually, I have a personal question that you gave the medicine for scorn being and looked down upon. There is actually lac can also we can think of, but you gave the
Madam,
order.
no. Hold on. The remedy given on the base of totality, on the base of
Good,
PQRS, on the base of constitutional prescribing. Constitutional, that is constant individual. Constitutional prescribing. It can be any remedy sitting in front of you. If you take the case in total. Here my topic was emotional cause of the physical diseases. So I've given just a reference. Just for
Okay.
understanding the reference, but remedy can be any. I mean, whether that rubric has that remedy or the rubric does not have that remedy can be added clinically. It completely a individual choice. I mean, this is my just a kind of idea how emotional cause can produce physical diseases.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Actually, it is a very enriching experience to hear you, sir, always. And it is actually revision of our organ and also along with you. And there are many like common emotions, but you explain it so wonderfully. So we actually, I had also one case that there is a in the under the name of emotion discord that the girl is since Minarki, she is having hypothyroid, and I was treating with the nitramur, but now she started with the chronic gastritis. but the case is not responding to nitramur. Now, but I understood maybe that there is a discord between the friends. That's why she is having the gastritis, and then you use graphitis in that case.
It's a very
So
good
I
effect.
can
I
think
know.
of, yeah, graphitis in this case, sir. So I'll just take
Super.
some questions, sir. Dr. Sudhir
Please,
Sharma is
please.
asking, which potency you usually use in the emotional diseases?
It is there is no specific or what you call protocol or style or etc. Depend upon the case I prescribe. I mean, there is always, 277 and 278 aphorism. What Hahnemann talks is you give a potency, you practice potency to practice to perfection. There is nothing like a fixed protocol for potency as such. So depend in one some cases would have shown a good response in low 30-200 potency. In some other cases 200 1M also have been given. In other scenes one of the cases could have been given 10M also, 10M 50M also, depends. And many times the causes, the ailments are continuously going on. See, the wife cannot change the husband. I mean, it's not possible practically. I mean, nowadays it's possible, but before 25 years it was not possible. So many times the ailments are continuous. So people keep on coming to you. You have the possibility to raise the potency. You can raise the potency.
Okay, sir. And another question. Sir, yeah, another question. Can you elaborate few remedies for homesickness?
Capsicum, wonderful remedy, wonderful. I can show you a presentation also at the moment. Just a moment, let me show you. This is the which I really I was going fast because I was overshooting the time. It's a capsicum. Beautiful. I have great response. The girl, in fact, who got good marks in the graduation, and then she went to Canada for further studies, and she was like homesick for 6 months, and she was having constant hiccup. She went over there to a lot of consultants, psychiatrists, neurologists, gastroenterologists, everything. Case doesn't got settled at all, and I was consulted, and I worked out the case on at that time it was Skype, now is Zoom. So Skype, I had a case taking, and I eventually gave capsicum, and I told her to buy capsicum from the pharmacy in Toronto, and she bought capsicum within 3 to 4 days. It was great effect. Similarly, was a case of amenorrhea following, Ignatia, similar kind of a pattern where she went to further studies in Canada, and the lady had amenorrhea because of she was missing her parents very badly, and she was into a lot of turmoil. So Ignatia helped a lot. So actually, we are not we give remedy on the base of individualization to the person who is having the problem. We don't give remedy for the disease. We give the remedy to the patient having the disease. So there is nothing like a fixed protocol. What remedy can be given on so and so symptoms? Ultimately, holism comes into play. That's what I gave aphorisms at the beginning only. That if you use these aphorisms, it will be of a great help to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And another question is that particular Dr. Padmaja Rao is asking, particular emotion or perception causes any particular disease condition?
Yes, it is. It is.
And another question from Dr. Nisha, that specify differentiation between emotional cause and emotional disease.
It's a good question. I think emotional diseases, the world has not come to a realization now. Emotional causes, now we are coming up to a realization that we are not a structure of what you call material. We have something immaterial also. Say for example, the blood, human blood. We know all these components, how the blood is manufactured, blood is made, but still the blood has not been manufactured in the laboratory. We know everything what the blood is made up of, but still the blood has not been manufactured in the laboratory. From where the life comes and goes, where is soul in body, where is mind in brain, or how the impulse of the SA node comes, which is producing the pumping of the heart. So many things which we are not knowing. Similarly, it's a human limitation, I would say. So emotional diseases, what Hahnemann talks about in 224, 5, 6 aphorism, is the world will come to know after 20, 30, 40 years. But we as a human being, taking the concept of holism, we take all the emotional deviations to of a great what you call importance for prescription.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That's all. All the questions are over.
Yes.
Over to you, Dr. Shweta.
Thank you, Dr. Mamta. And sir, it was really beautiful. The topic selection was amazing. I had also treated a case of endometrial polyp on the basis of such emotional causes where first of all, I thought natramute will work because of the suppression of emotion and all. And then I followed the case with CPR because there was the feeling of indifference was there. So it helped me a lot, and the endometrial polyp is disappeared only after a treatment of 6 months. So it was really amazing. Thank you for enlightening us with the session, and we would like to take privilege to honor you for sharing your beautiful knowledge, experience, and wisdom. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Kindly
Thank you very
accepted
much.
from our
Thank you.
study group. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to you, Dr. Shweta. Thank you very much to Dr. Kavita Kuknur ma'am, as well as the entire our KHA family for having me on the platform. And it is always wonderful to be on the KHA platform.
Same here, sir. And with your permission, I would like to announce the upcoming event, the
Please.
webinar, and on next 16th October at 8:30 India timing and 11 a.m. Eastern US and Canada timing, we will have Dr. Kavita Chandak and Dr. Rajneesh Kumar Sharma, who will enlighten us on the topic Victory of Homeopathy in Cerebral Atrophy, Spine Degeneration, and Internet Hazard. So you can find the link at the website and you can register yourself for the upcoming webinar. Don't miss the webinar. And it was really a wonderful learning today. I hope you all liked it. And Dr. Mamita, would you like to read the code of ethics?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shweta. I'll just quickly read the code of ethics. This is a first is to be a car speaker needs at least 1 or 2 months active volunteering. Only car speakers themes are allowed in newsletters and webinars. CA provides volunteering for 2 to 12 months. Active volunteers will be promoted through our website, social media, and added to the WhatsApp group. Articles of volunteers will be posted on CA website and newsletter and will be sent for publication at other journals too. Active volunteers are eligible for prestigious CA annual awards, and volunteers are eligible for CA inspirational talks. Volunteers are eligible for case discussions also. CA promotes the homeopathy great work of speakers through their book reviews. Honorable guests may propose their future courses or events after the webinar. CA maintains a healthy and happy environment, so keeps only like-minded folks. CA requests everyone to maintain. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Shweta.
Thank you, Dr. Mamta, for reading Code of Ethics. And uh, thank you all for joining us today. And we have many such interesting webinars in the queue. And if you want to get in touch with the CA Homeopathy Study Group or to know about any event or webinar, upcoming webinar, you can follow our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn with the name CA Homeopathy Study Group. For all the recordings, video recordings of the webinars, past and present, you can go to our YouTube channel with the name Kavita Kukunur. And if you have any query, you can reach us at castudygroup@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day or night ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night.
Please fill the jot form provided in the chat box to receive your certificate of participation. It will reach you within 1 week. Thank you so much.